Welcome back, viewers. This is Charles Coffee, and today we are going to start our computations on process costing. And we are going to start with a very simple question so that you could be able to master whatever we are going to be doing, and we shall be progressing from different items as we handle them in the processing accounting. The question we are going to be saying is, it says in a manufacture of a product, there are 4 processes, namely that's 1 up to 4. And we are continuing that during a certain period, the following cost data was obtained. And you have the items, you have the process, this is process 1, process 2, up to process 3. But we have all of this information in terms of shillings. We have the direct materials that we used in the process 1, and they are saying they are 2,000 units valued at 5 million, and the rest of the processes we have 0. It means that what comes from process A, the output of process process 1 becomes the input of process 2, and we continue until we reach to the final stage where we are going to be having our output. We have the additional material. So these materials are added and they are called purificants. They are used as a supplement to the main products. And you are seeing in process 1, there is nothing we add on to 0 because we already have the materials. Because since these ones are acting as supplementaries or they're supporting the other main material, then we expect that in the process 1 we don't have anything, so that the only way we can add on is until it reaches the second process, because we said that in these processes we expect that what takes place in a certain department may be different from what is taking place in the other. So we have the direct wages. Now we are paying the workers who are using or who are involved in the production, and we have the direct expenses we are incurring. Then the question says the production overheads for the factory for the period was 2.5. It was shillings 2.5, 2,500,000, to be absorbed by processes on the basis of 25% of the direct wages. It means that 2.5 is the total, but we are absorbing it using the direct wages as our basis. And they are saying during the period there was no stock of raw materials and work in progress, either at the beginning or at the end. It means we never had work in progress, and we don't get work in progress as at the end of the process. Then they are saying prepare the process cost accounts. You are expected to process the process accounts for process 1, process 2, process 3 until we reach process 4, where we are supposed to be getting our output. We can create here, or we can do it from here. I hope it can fit, but I know it can fit here. Or what will be better, let's use a different, then we put here a solution. We use a different sheet. And we are starting with the process 1. Process 1, that is process 1 account. So whenever you are doing this question, whenever you are doing these questions of process, you have to first make an analysis of the information they have given you up, especially when they are work in progress, when they are opening stock of raw materials, where there are normal losses and whatever. You have to first make analysis. But since we don't have that, all of those ones, we can just proceed and we start with our accounts. We said here we put it's a T account. It will be, these are going to be particulars. Then we have the unit, the units. We go to the unity cost. Then we get the amount. Then here we have the particulars. We have units. We have unit cost or cost per unit. Then we have the amounts. I'll try to make these ones a bit bigger. Then we can start with our, we said all the expenses we've incurred in the processes, they are supposed to be debited. Then the output we get out of the processes is supposed to be credited. So we have our direct material, have direct material. Have direct material of, they have given us the number of units. There were 2,000 units. These are 2,000 units and they were valued at 5 million. So here the value is 5 million, 1, 2, 3. So we can determine our unit cost by getting the total cost. We divide by the number of units. Since we said we don't have normal losses, we just divide this, divide by this to get the unit cost. It was 2,500. So we don't have additional material in the process 1, it is 0. So we go to the direct direct wages. Direct wages, which was given to us as, was given as 4 million. This is 4 million. Then we have the direct expense, direct expenses, have direct expense, which are 1 million, is 1 million. But remember in the question they gave us also that this production overhead is consumed or it is absorbed by all these processes using 25% of the direct wages. What this one means is that when you get the 25% of the direct wages, for that will be for each process. Let's say the 25% of process 1, this is 4 million, this is 3 million, this is 2 million, this is 1 million. When you sum them up, they shouldn't exceed 2.5 because the total is 2.5, but they are the way they accumulated those costs is by getting 25% of this. This is how they got that. So we get 25% of 2 million. These are our production overheads. And I try to enlarge this. Production overhead, they said it is 25%, to be equal sign 25% of, we are multiplying by the direct wages, which will be giving us 1 million. So if we have 1 million, it means we are now left with 1.5 on the 2 million they gave us. So there is nothing we can add on, as they are all done. Then we can sum up. And we get the cost. This one is 2,000. When you balance it off, we get here the totals. Here to give you a scenario, here you don't divide that, you get 4 million divided by 2,000. No, because we don't know which rates they use to determine the wages. For this one, we can do that because they have given us the number of units. We can easily trace them, trace the total cost, and we'll find the unit cost. But this one, you don't divide because this is the cost of labor that they used that was put on this 2,000 to make sure that it is converted into a finished product. But you don't divide. The reason why we are not dividing is because we don't know which rates they used, which method did they use to determine all of that. That's why here we put nothing. Then even this one, we don't balance it, we just leave it the way it is. Then we sum up this one, we shall get the sum. It will be that up to there. Close that. It will be giving us that. So what we want the amount from this side. And what we are going to be having this side, we say this side, if you have the normal losses, if you have the abnormal losses, and the closing stock, we put them here. But they told us there is no closing stock, there is no normal loss. So what we have here will be the output. But instead of calling it output, because the processes, they are not yet done, we shall say that transfer to process. process 2, or you can just put, if you don't use transfer, if it is a bit wrong, you can just say process 2. When you're saying process 2, it means we've credited this one using process 2. So when we reach the process 2, we have to debit by this. So you get to know that when we've credited this using process 2, so when we are taking that figure, when you are following the double entry, it will be debited to the process 2 account, because this side you have credited it. So if they have not given us what they produce, it means whatever went in came out. That's the implication. If they don't give you the expected output, then we assume that what we put in, all of it came out. It will be 2,000, but now we need to value this. It will be valued at what? What will be the price for these units? How do we get that? We said to get the unity cost, we gave the formula for unity cost. We said it is equaling to the total process cost we less the scrap value then all of it we divide it by we said we divide all of it by the expected output. That is expected output so that's how we get that. But since we don't have the scrap value and we don't have all of the information, we shall just take this 11 million. It will be equal sign this. We divide by the expected output. We said since we're not given normal losses, so we assume that what we put in came out. You can just divide that, or you just divide by this. We get the answer. So it means that these units were sold at this cost. It will be 5,500. When you multiply this, you'll be getting, can say cosine this, multiply by this. It will be that. So when we sum up here, we are going to be having the same 2,000, and here we are having the same you can try to double underline so that you know that you are closing off. From there, you just know that this account is now closed. Can put in borders so that we have something which looks like bit profession. So that's how we do that. Can try to highlight all of the figures, or we highlight only these. This is total. So that one is done. That's the first account. So open another account. We can just use the same information. Can copy this one and we paste it here. So this one is supposed to be called process 2 account now. This one is called process 2. So you can fill in the information that is pending. We have the same material, but here we are going to add an extra line for can add it from here, say insert, and we put an extra that is additional material. So when we get that, we shall go to the question. The question says we have now what we have to start with is this, what we said, this was credited, so it must be debited within here, and it is coming as our, here we don't have the raw materials, we have process 1 account, because we did not have materials here. What we only have, we have the output that was for process A, because if you put here process 1 account, you'll be seeing that there is a double entry. We've credited this side, so we are debiting this side. Let me make this one a bit broad. And what we are removing there, we are removing the 2000 units. At a cost, we are taking this cost at 5500. Then the total is 11111, like that. Then we put the rest. Having completed the double entry, then we go to the additional material. We added 3 million. So we put in the additional material of 3 million. Then we have the direct wages. Direct wages, they said it is 3 million too. So even this one is 3 million. Then direct expense is 0. We don't have direct, we did not incur direct expenses, so we have to go to the direct overhead, the production overheads, but they told us it is 25% of the direct material, so it is going to be equal sign 25% of the direct material. The direct material is 3 million, which is that, sorry, multiply by the direct materials, which will give us 750. But remember, the other one we used 1 million, so this is 750. We have to get the difference. We see the whole total was 2.5 minus, now it will be 1,750,000. So meaning we are still having, we are still having 750, because they say when you add this one plus this one, we are not supposed to exceed the 2.5. So we add the total, we get the totals, because there is nothing we are putting in there. The total is still the same. Then we get also the sum from here. Then we transfer this to process 3. Process 3 account. Then here we can add account so that we separate. But what are we taking? We are taking the 2000 because they have not given us what came out. So we assume that whatever was put in also came out. So to get this one, we are not going to write another the same formula. It will be the same. We are getting the total cost over the number of units. So it is going to be equal sign this, which is our total cost, we divide by the number of units. So it will be that when we multiply, it will be this multiply by this, and you get exactly the same answer. So we bring this one this side, 750,123. We can try to highlight this. Have to double underline. This is accounting, we double underline them. This means closing off the accounts. It means nothing is going to happen again. Here we have 2000. We also have to close it. And that one will be done. Can put in the borders so that the work looks a bit unique. Here, these are the totals. So that's the process 2 account. But remember we are transferring these units to process 4. But what happens is that when you are seeing that the costs, they are increasing, it means what we've got from here is no longer there. So it is within this. So when we transfer these costs, we transfer everything and we put it in process 3. So we can copy this one, copy, then we paste it here. And try to merge this. But now this is processing 3. This is processing 3. And try to remove the whole of this. Then we put in the units, what we transferred from process. This will be now processing 2. We are moving the items from processing 2. We've removed that. We are moving it at its own cost, which is 88,750. Then we get also the 177,50,123. Yeah, that's it. And we get the additional costs that are incurred there. The process 3, we did not put in extra additional material. We added only the direct. It's only the direct labor that increased by 2 million. And in this time, the direct expense went up to 500,000. So we are putting in, this one we did not incur, so we are putting a 0. This one went up to 2 million. Yeah. Then this one was 500. 1, 2, 3. Then we have to compute for this. But they told us it is 25%. It is 25% of the direct wages. And it is giving us 200,000, 500,000, sorry. So it means that our total, the total cost which we incurred will be from here up to there. We are adding what we got from the other processes. We add what we've accumulated and we transfer it to, this will now be going to process 4 account. And what are we taking? We are still taking the 2,000 units because that's what we are told. And to get our unit cost, we get, it will be cosine this. Sorry, this one, we divide it by the 2,000, which will be 10,375. When you multiply, shall be getting still the same, answers like that one. What you have to make sure is that these figures, they are supposed to balance. The number of units, they must balance, whether they are losses or whether they are what, they must balance, because those units that you started with, when at the end of the day, when you finish everything, they must be balancing. Can try to close off this and also close off this one by double underlining it. Close off also this. And the last one, which is that. I hope you've seen how we do that. Can also try to get to that. Here we have the totals. So we can draw our last here. Let me try to paste it, see if it can come. Now let me copy it from here. I take now this. Can put it here. I know it can fit. Yeah, the good thing, it has fitted here. Let's try and get to this so that we see how we can finalize this. Can try to enlarge this one, particulars, at least for it, it needs to be big. And this one. can try to change this. We wrap up. Oh, sorry, I can't wrap. Hope you will be able to see these figures. This is now our process 4, which is the last one. Because you need to see this, let me try to enlarge. Hope you can be able to see everything. This is our last process, and here we are saying it is now from process 3 account. So we've brought that with its cost, which is 10,375. The total cost is 20,750,000. That's the cost. Then we have the cost. We have other additional material. We added 2 million, and the other one, the direct expense and the direct labor, they are 1 million, all of them. This one we added 2 million. 1, 2, 3. Then for this one we added 1 million. 1, 2, 3. Even this one 1 million. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Then for this one we have to compute. They said it is equal sign 25% of the direct labor, and our direct labor is 1 million, so it will be 250. Remember, here we had, this is 500. When we add the 250, we are going to be having 750. When we add to this one, to this 750 we have here, it will give us 1.5. When we add the 1 million, it will be 2.5. That is what they gave us in the question. That was the meaning. So we can sum this one up. Is that. Then we have now this one is no longer called to process 5. It is now called the output, because that is, or you can call it output or finished goods. The finished goods, they are still the same, 2,000, because we did not have. And to get this one, we said we divide the total cost we've incurred in the production by the number of units. Then we multiply it by this. It will be giving us that. Then we close off the accounts. This is 2,000, and this one is 25 million. 1, 2, 3. So when we are done with that, this one is total, and we can try to put these borders, and we see how we can make it look like it's fine. Then we try to close off this by double underlining it, and this, sorry, this, the figure. the one we are double underlining, then this one, then the last one, that's how we are supposed to get that. We can try to, the whole of it we put in the separators, we get something which is a bit okay. Hope there we could be able to get that. This one we can enlarge it a bit so that we can fill those spaces. And I see that we will be able to get this one very right. And that's all they needed from us. We can save it. That's what we were supposed to look at. This is the first unity cost. Remember, these formulas they are not provided in the exam, so you are supposed to master them. Okay, that's all. And we can see that, hope everyone can be able to understand this. It is very easy. Then we are going to look for others that has a bit, some component of normal losses, has some bit of closing work in progress, until we reach to the equivalent units, and we see how we can solve them out. Just make sure you subscribe and you'll be able to follow each and everything we are posting. Thank you for watching.